Hello, we're looking at example 13 on page 20. This is a geometric sequence question again. The value of a car depreciates, so that means it loses value at a rate of 19% each year. Okay, that's going to be important. If you buy a new car today for this amount, how much will it be worth after 4 years? Okay, so basically we have a geometric sequence here where we have U1, which is your initial amount, 33,560, and we need to figure out 4 years later, which would be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years. That'll actually be U5 that we're looking for, won't it? Will be 4 years later. Okay, so U2 will be 1 year later, U3 will be 2 years later, U4 will be 3 years later, and U5 will be 5 years later. All right, so it's a geometric sequence. We need to figure out what R is. Now, in a question like this, depreciation or interest, we'll look at interest questions later on in the unit. If it's depreciating, that means it's decreasing by this amount every year. So if we multiply by 100%, subtract whatever percent the depreciation is, 19%, that will give us what our value is, which is 81%, better written as 0.81. Okay, so in other words, we could multiply this number by, I'll show you what I mean. We could multiply this number by the 19%, which is 0.19. That will give us, so 33,560 multiplied by 0.19. That gives us 6,376 and 40 cents. But then we have to actually subtract that from the amount above. Okay, because that's how much it's decreasing by. So we would take U1 and subtract that from it. So 33,560 subtract 6,376.4, and this equals 27,183.60. Now, notice that instead, a shortcut way of doing all of this is instead just multiplying by 0.81, our original. So 33,560 multiplied by 0.81. Go ahead and do that. Actually gives us 27,183.60 cents. Okay, you can do this same kind of thing if you're shopping and you see that something is 20% off. You can actually take the original amount that it cost and multiply it by 0.8 to be able to figure out what it actually cost, instead of multiplying by 0.2 and then subtracting that number from the original amount. Okay, so this is just a shortcut way, and it lets us use geometric sequences in our problem. So R is equal to 0.81. So here we go. We know that we need to find U5, and we know that the general term formula is this. Okay, so we need to find U5 because that means after 4 years. U1 is the 33,560. R, we figured out, is 0.81, and N is 5, so 5 minus 1. 33,560 times 0.81 to the power of 4. And of course, this is a calculator question. So 0.81 to the power of 4 is 0.430467. Remember, keep that long digit. Multiply by the 3360. And we get 14,446. 14,446.5. Okay, so IB questions, unless they say otherwise, want us to use 3 significant digits, but money Usually we go by how much the money is. Now my calculator just right now gave me that number, 0.5. So good idea to see what more digits are. So I must have my digit set up. So let's go to menu. Let's go to menu, settings, doc settings, document settings, and we can, how many digits does it display? So we get to this part, the very top line, digits displayed. It says float 6. You can click on that and you can put many more digits. So I'm going to change that to 12 instead. I'm going to go down and make this my default. Okay. It's going to change things on my scratch pad. I'm going to redo my calculation. Times 60. And now I have a lot more digits, which allows me, with money, we want to the cents. It allows me, it's actually 14,446.4795, and it goes on and on. So therefore, we want to round this to the nearest cent. So this would then be 48. Okay, so that's how it works with money. You want to calculate the money right to the cents. There you go.